Pro Football today on SportsGrid, and we have so much to get to. The fallout from Week 16 in the National Football League. What a week it has been. I'm Kevin Walsh. I'm joined by Joe Lisi. Joe, we have a lot on our plate, and I'll step up, right? That's one of your phrases, so allow me.
Go ahead.
I'll be honest with you. Every time we break a Steeler game down, you'll notice I start to peacock a little bit. I feel like I've had these Steelers games dead to rights every single Sunday. And again, I think appropriately, I walked right into a right hook. What do you usually say? You took so many rights, you're begging for a left?
Yeah.
I was positive they would run Pittsburgh off that field. The Steelers, and I think sometimes when we see the Steelers get a big win, it's a little fluky. They were just better.
Yeah.
I thought, than Detroit in that football game. And they, for me, Joe, have completely changed I would say they've drastically changed how I view them. I would be stunned if they don't win the North now, flatly. And I actually think this team could go out there and win a playoff game. That's how impressed I was, how surprised I was with them going to Detroit, who was off a loss, and beating that football team.
Could have been their most impressive win of the season, and I give credit as well. That was a Mike Tomlin game that they stepped up and had their identity. We saw Jaylen Warren dominate in the second half, over 140 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Defensively, they held Jared Goff in check, limited St. Brown, limited Jamison Williams in that matchup, forced them to methodically work down the field. That was really a defensive effort for much of 3 quarters, right? It wasn't until they jumped up 22-10 that all of a sudden we got the momentum, and all of a sudden they got through the over again, which is amazing when you think about it. But the Steelers dictated the tempo from start to finish. I did believe when we broke it down that a lower scoring game would favor Pittsburgh. I didn't think that they can go toe-to-toe if this game was in the 40s or potentially high 30s. And even though it resembled that, at the end of the day, it was more of a blue-collar win. And credit the offensive defensive lines. But Mike Tomlin had this team ready. I think the perception, too, Kev, was, they can afford to lose this game, and it'll still come down to Week 18 with the Ravens matchup. Yeah. They took care of business. They didn't want to seize the momentum that they gained the week prior with the win over Miami, and they're playing as good as anybody right now.
100%. And I think for Pittsburgh, where they've changed it, why I have been so hard on this team, even in their wins, is because they've been the same team for half a decade, right? Mm-hmm. Above 500. He did it again. Above, right? They're going to be in the playoffs, maybe a 7 seed, maybe a 6 seed, and they're going to get smashed. And that's what they do. Buffalo destroys them, right? Kansas City, we've seen knock them around. Baltimore last year. And it's because they can't score. 3 straight games with 27 or more points for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Certainly the first time all season. And they found more of a balance, I think, in their pass attack, right? Some of the deep shots there. And then it allows them to be creative in the run game like they want to. Throwing Jonnu Smith back there, right, for 20-yard carries. Jaylen Warren, also now, 25-carry Jaylen Warren, right, 20-carry. That's not who he is.
No.
But now the balance with him and Kenneth Gainwell, my goodness, look at this breakout from him. Pittsburgh is set up for something where if they beat Cleveland, the division is over. They get to take a Week 18 bye, not even play Baltimore, and they will have a home playoff game off a pseudo bye week. I'll give Mike Tomlin a chance to win that. I don't care if it's Buffalo, L.A., Houston. Pittsburgh now truly feels like a team, Joe, that can win a playoff game. And that's the first time I felt it.
Yeah, me too. And again, I'll give credit. I was wrong on this team. I thought they'd be a 7-win football team, but again, they've bounced back into form, and I would say the personnel that they have, because they have great tight ends. I mean, Darnell Washington, Freiermuth, you throw Jonnu Smith in there. They have, and even Connor Haywood, right, that is utilized in the Wildcat for, tight ends that could be utilized in multiple looks. But the X factor to me about why this offense seems to be clicking is now Gainwell. Right. He's not just a third down back. He's utilizing the passing game. You saw the 45-yard touchdown yesterday. Great catch, great hands. He's a change of pace guy that is not just implemented on third downs. He does come in on first and second downs in certain sets. He's utilized in the screen game. So now you throw him into the mix. That opens up DK Metcalf, and we'll get into the off-the-field situation a little bit later. But now they have an identity. And with Aaron Rodgers, that all of a sudden now feels confident in this offense, the defense now doesn't have as much pressure as they did in the start of the year.
I mean, they haven't had T.J. Watt for consecutive weeks, and who knows, maybe Watt, again, gets back right in time for the playoffs, and this thing turns around. I can't give Pittsburgh enough credit for that victory, but on the other side of the field is the Detroit Lions. And this is a Detroit team, Joe, that didn't score in that first half at all. They didn't get their first touchdown of the game until under the 2-minute warning of that first half. And they had a team total in the 30s. The touchdowns that they put up, they weren't garbage time. They had a chance to win the game. I know the offensive pass interference, it was all very wonky end of the game. Ultimately, the offense wasn't there. Do you feel, when you look at Detroit, the bigger problem is the offense or the defense? Because they very likely now will miss the playoffs after being the number 1 seed in the NFC last year.
I think it's the defense. I honestly believe that. But again, we talked about it as well. Jared Goff in a road environment, going to Soldier Field or going to Lambeau. Yeah. Do you have confidence in that team to put up, 25, 28 points a game? No, I don't. I think a fast track inside where they host a home game or they go indoors. Yeah, then I bet on Jahmyr Gibbs. I bet on the speed of Jamison Williams and St. Brown, but I can't in this type of format. I think they're significantly at a disadvantage now with both coordinators. We saw Dan Campbell take over the play calling duty middle part of the year. The offense at times has looked good, but again, when you get torched by L.A. in the second half, when you get torched by Pittsburgh, and again, you just allow multiple chunk plays, you're not going to be able to stop anybody in a playoff environment, and no matter who they go up against. Yeah. I mean, outside of Hutchinson, who do they really have?
Yeah, so look, the defense is injured again, and we know that that's a part of the story, but at some point, if you're injured every year, you got to look inward. We know the defense was injured last year, and the defensive injuries, I think, are probably the biggest issue they ran into this season. Jared Goff threw for 364 yards and 3 touchdowns. And nobody would be silly enough to think he played well in that game.
No, he's pressured.
So far from an elite quarterback. He is immobile, and he is completely immobile. And so much of it, Joe, is about getting into the super speedsters like you talk about, or, Amon-Ra, who's obviously a clean number 1 wide receiver. And if you're the Lions, what I think is the likeliest situation is they chalk this year up to injury, down year. We just need a soft reset. But the Lions may, at some point, ask themselves, do we have a quarterback actually good enough to go all the way with? Because the reality is the Rams had this quarterback and said no.
Right.
The answer to that is no, and traded him. And sometimes we try to pretend that didn't happen, but that is exactly what happened for the team who's won a Super Bowl since Goff left and is still favored to win the Super Bowl this year.
I think Goff is more effective when the rushing attack is there. Let's not forget, think about it. Last year, this year, when they were dominant, one of the best rushing attacks and offensive lines in the NFL. You look 13 yards or 15 yards on 12 carries yesterday. Jahmyr Gibbs was held in check by L.A. last week. So there was no offensive balance. It's all Jared Goff. Now, I agree with you. I'm not putting Jared Goff in the likes of, Pat Mahomes and all the greats, or Stafford or that level.
Okay.
But I do feel he's above average if you give him a clean pocket. The problem is Detroit is much more effective when they are grounding and pounding you and working off of play action with crossing patterns.
Yeah.
When Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery are getting 4 and 5 yards a clip and they're in 2nd and 4 and 3rd and 2, they kill you. When they're in 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 9, Jared Goff is basically pedestrian.
100%. What we are going to do is get into the Ravens lost to the New England Patriots, and of course, The 1 seed back up for grabs as the Jacksonville Jaguars make a statement. That's next.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
They went all in with the Sauce Gardner trade, right? All in. Give you a couple of number 1 picks here. Then Daniel Jones breaks the leg, and then he tears the Achilles. All right, you're signing Phillip Rivers. Are you kidding me? I mean, by the way, you know what hasn't been talked about enough? Sam Ellinger decided he didn't want to come play for the Colts. Why? You would have been. I know Denver activated him to the roster anyway, but he would have been maybe a starting quarterback this weekend.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Michael Jordan retired at the age of 30 in 1993. He missed the 93-94 season. Furthermore, he came back for 17 games in 1995 when he gave up baseball. And when I mean gave up baseball, he gave up baseball on March 18th and came back to basketball March 19th, which means no ramp up, no training camp, no nothing.
Pro Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
If I told you 25 years ago that you could bet $1,000 on whether or not the Miami Dolphins would go 25 years without a playoff win, that probably would have returned 10 mil, if not more.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you could do that on Kalshi right now or on Polymarket right now and pick any team you want.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Pro Football Today begins with Steelers praise. That, not usual.
No.
It is followed up by wondering what is going on in Baltimore. That has been common all season long. And look, I will say this. Boy, do New England Patriots fans know how to tell a story of the game with conveniently forgetting Lamar Jackson got injured. Gutty win on the road. Ravens, Henry. How'd they pull it out? Lamar got hurt. But Lamar getting hurt, Joe, like it's, I don't know. It's been a season of this, and it's been happening. It happens every so often. Like, this is, you want to talk about hitting the reset button. I think the Baltimore Ravens are about to take a sledgehammer, it feels like, to the reset button. I don't see any way John Harbaugh is coaching the Baltimore Ravens in 2026.
No, their identity's gone. And again, this team has regressed since the number 1 seed in the AFC playoffs, right, where they lost to Kansas City and Pat Mahomes 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They got Derrick Henry. He was great, and he got them to a certain level. But this team now has got major holes defensively. They have major concerns from a passing perspective. Love or hate Lamar Jackson, he's your franchise guy. But the problem is, again, he goes down yesterday.
Yep.
And Tyler Huntley gives you 62 yards in backup duty with
The thing, though, Joe, but you're right. But
and
the
Henry,
score's
I know.
24-13. Derrick Henry hits the end zone. And then he didn't touch the field the rest of the game.
I don't know. Crazy.
It's
You tell me.
unimaginable. It's unimaginable. And that this Ravens defense, sorry, you can't go 70-yard touchdown drive, 89-yard touchdown drive. That's what they allowed to end this game.
No,
it can't happen.
But again, that's not the identity. When you think of just John Harbaugh on the Ravens,
Sure.
you think blue collar, pound the rock, run Lamar, and work off of play action. And oh, by the way, the defense is going to shut down the run, force turnovers, and beat you up in the trenches.
Yeah.
Have they done that this year? I mean, every game they're suspect. There's been 1 or 2 performances that are basically outliers for the Ravens, and outside of maybe Kyle Hamilton and a couple of others,
Right.
they don't have dominant defensive players. You know, they got rid of Pat Queen to the Steelers, which was crazy. But I'm just saying, like, linebackers, again, don't fear you. The front seven is getting older. And again, teams run and throw on this team like it's.
Yeah.
I mean, again, they weren't going anywhere, even if they got in. I'll be honest.
Well, Joe, here's the incredible thing, right? It's an impossible argument to make if I were to try and go the other way. There's no evidence that they were, right? But they never were clean on both sides of the football this season, and the Ravens were the team. I'm sure I probably mentioned this. I bet Baltimore to win the Super Bowl. Like, I don't know, they were doing all those promos on FanDuel, and I was like, I'm probably going to end up picking the Ravens. And the only good thing I did in the Super Bowl market this year was cash out of that bet, and I locked in on Cincinnati, and I never went everyone bet Baltimore. This is Super Bowl favorites, and they still felt worth it. And every single time they've told us, actually, we're not. And look, they're not technically out of it yet, right? Tomlin losing to Cleveland isn't the craziest thing I've ever heard in my entire life, but it's been embarrassing. And this is the thing for me. So people then say, well, tell the story of this game. Back-to-back weeks, the New England Patriots have left me completely underwhelmed. I mean, completely underwhelmed. Joe, for me, it looked like they were absolutely going to get themselves rocked in another step-up spot here had Lamar not been injured. And, look, it's interesting because you give Drake May credit for a great comeback, right? I mean, he ends up throwing for 380 yards and multiple touchdown passes, and, he has the game-clinching scramble. So I don't think you can take that away from them. But I know that the feeling is as if the AFC doesn't have a lot of heavyweights. But we try and figure out, which horse you're going to be willing to ride. That is not how I feel about the New England Patriots. It's not. And here's the crazy thing about New England. Yesterday was a great day for them because Denver losing to Jacksonville gives the Pats some life now back all of a sudden for that number 1 seed.
It does. But I'll give them credit. The one thing identity-wise that you could say and hang your hat on is they're 7-0 on the road this year. And
sure.
So when you look at identity and teams being built for a playoff caliber run to potentially win a championship and even a Super Bowl, they have that it factor because they're not just winning games at home. They're winning in NFL environments. Call it what it is. And they're undefeated in that situation. Now, Travion Henderson goes down yesterday. They still have a dominant 1-2 punch with Stevenson and Henderson. And when you have a quarterback putting up 380, I still don't believe this team has an elite wide receiver core. And I still think that'll be ultimately their demise in a playoff type of situation. But you're getting the most out of Matt Collins. You're getting the most out of Kayshon Boutte. You're getting the most out of an aging Stephon Diggs, right? And Hunter Henry is an above-average tight end. So, I agree with you, but I'll give credit. They get probably smashed if Lamar's in there last night.
So, the run defense is falling apart.
It didn't happen. Unfortunately, it didn't happen.
And look, that it's fine, right? But I just think this is why you and I do what we do. Is you can come out here to go, hey, New England won. Team to beat. It's like, that's not what I saw.
Right.
I'll tell you what I did see, and I promise we're not going to shortchange this, okay? We're going to talk more about this, okay? We're going to mix in the Chargers as well. But, man, did the Jacksonville Jaguars make I think you could argue the statement of the season with what they did in Denver. Yep. Denver hadn't lost a home game all year.
Right.
Everyone's like, Bo Nix. Dude, that game wasn't about Bo Nix struggling.
No.
The Jacksonville Jaguars were answerless to Trevor Lawrence, who, again, was clean, no turnovers, 4 total touchdowns, 279, a dominant effort by the Jaguars offense in Denver. Yeah. Again, statement win of the year in my eyes.
Yeah, they've won 6 straight now. And again, they're winning with now Trevor Lawrence stepping up and really coming into his own as that elite guy, franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
They have an offensive identity. They can run it when they have to. Now, Travis Etienne only had 40 yards yesterday.
Got
but
up
again,
to 50. He snuck a late
50,
one.
Or he snuck a late one. He got up to 50. I turned
60.
it off at 40. But 279 from Lawrence. You hit your intense prop,
sure
right?
Did, yeah.
So we hit the best bets. But that defense also made plays. They were opportunistic.
It's been making plays all year.
And here's the thing. I don't see Brian Thomas leading the wide receivers. Where is he? No Brian Thomas, 2 catches, 18 yards, and Parker Washington thought he was back playing with Trace McSorley in Happy Valley, they're doing it with like smoke and mirrors at the wide receiver position.
We will talk more about Jacksonville's big win and the worries out of Denver next.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all three Circa Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
They went all in with the Sauce Gardner trade, right? All in. Give you a couple of number one picks here. Then Daniel Jones breaks the leg, and then he tears the Achilles. All right, you're signing Phillip Rivers. Are you kidding me? I mean, by the way, you know what hasn't been talked about enough? Sam Ellinger decided he didn't want to come play for the Colts. Why? You would have been. I know Denver activated him to the roster anyway, but he would have been maybe the starting quarterback this weekend.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Michael Jordan retired at the age of 30 in 1993. He missed the 93-94 season. Furthermore, he came back for 17 games in 1995 when he gave up baseball. And when I mean gave up baseball, he gave up baseball on March 18th and came back to basketball March 19th, which means no ramp up, no training camp, no nothing.
Pro Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
If I told you 25 years ago that you could bet $1,000 on whether or not the Miami Dolphins would go 25 years without a playoff win, that probably would have returned 10 mil, if not more.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you could do that on Kalshi right now or on Polymarket right now and pick any team you want.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
All right, so yesterday, Joe, we talked about this just a little bit. Jacksonville gets this big win in Denver. Let me start with this. Do you think Jacksonville has a case to be conference favorites today?
Yes.
I think they clearly have a case to be the best team. Favorites,
Yes.
though. You think so?
I do. I like their weapons. I like the rushing attack. Again, their offensive line, to me, can run the football. And we've seen it against, Kansas City. We've seen it against multiple teams in the conference. I feel confident in them. I like the identity that Liam Cohen has now. He looks like a confident signal caller and play caller. This team now, he's confident with the players. He understands how to utilize the talent. He creates one-on-one mismatches. And again, Brian Thomas still hasn't emerged, right? Mm-hmm. So ETN, think about the move that they shipped Tank Bigsby to Philly, who's now a pedestrian running back, when with Doug Peterson, he was the pure number one. And Travis Etienne looks like he's back in Death Valley, pounding the rock, catching the football out of the backfield. Strange now is a security blanket and an above-average tight end. Parker Washington is great. I like the talent. And defensively, that secondary is good. I like them. I would bet. Again, I wanted to see this game yesterday.
I got you.
And I said that I liked them with the 3.5. If they could go in, I thought it was an emotional letdown spot. They're winning 6 straight. They knocked off a team that had won 11 straight. What more can you ask for?
So this is why, for me, I think they have a very real argument as the best team in the AFC. I really believe that. I don't think I can get to them being booked as favorites in the conference because despite the fact the path is there, I do not think they're going to grab the 1 seed. I think it'll still either end up being Denver or New England. That's what I anticipate. It doesn't mean that they can't win it. And I think what you have right now in this conference, Joe, is a group. You look at the AFC Championship odds. We're flashing 9 teams. I could sit here with my eyes closed and tell you why all 9 aren't going to win it. The trick is actually getting to a team. The problem, though, is how much of this seeding stuff is up for grabs. So your favorite today is the Denver Broncos. And if the Denver Broncos are the number 1 seed, I think they belong then as favorites. They don't have to play in the opening round. Could be messy. They're going to have a home game off bye where we have seen Sean Payton be very, very good just throughout his career, but perfect since coming back to Denver. And then it would be at home in a conference championship game if they're there. But all of a sudden now, if this team loses to the Chargers in Week 18, Chargers are going to have to beat the Houston Texans next week. Easier said than done, but booked as favorites. The Broncos are going to go from the 1 seed to the 5 or the 6.
Right.
And then, here's reality for Denver. Good luck finding a soul to pick the Denver Broncos to win a game, much less the AFC if they're a wild card team.
Yeah, very
Nobody is going to pick them in that spot. No chance.
Very difficult. And again, if they have to play down the road against Josh Allen, are you giving Bo Nix in Denver the matchup or the advantage in that type of situation? No. But, I will say this about L.A. That's a rematch of last year's playoff game with Houston. They got smashed in the second half of that game. You would think that Houston does have the defensive advantage in that matchup, the way they contained Justin Herbert and held him to 4 interceptions or forced 4 interceptions in that playoff win last year. I can't get – here's the thing. When we're talking number 1 seeds, right now, week 16 ending, week 17 on the horizon, I would say Jacksonville, to me, is the team that I feel most confident about.
I think
I don't
that's
feel
fair.
confident in Houston.
I think that's fair.
Houston, to me, again, you look at that game.
Yeah.
It's the D'Amico Ryans.
You said it. You saw it a mile away.
But you
saw it a mile away.
You play that in a playoff game, you're going to get clipped.
I know.
You have that mentality where my defense is better than anybody. And they could carry us when your defense doesn't step up in a playoff game and you're going to need to rely on your offense.
Sure.
You're treading water in rough seas.
Well, I can't wait to watch that game next week between the Chargers and the Texans, though. Because here's the thing, all of a sudden, if you're LA. So this team started the year 3-0 in division.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they felt left for dead when it at least came to the division, right? They were going to miss the playoffs kind of situation. You control your destiny if you're the Chargers, right?
You do.
You control your destiny. It's right there in front of you. And I know, hey, win out, right? It's much easier said than done. Team goes from 14-3 to 13-4. But it's right there for the Los Angeles Chargers. Because they're another one of these teams. You think I'm betting Justin Herbert to win his first playoff game on the road?
But that's my point. That's my point. Out of all the quarterbacks, Nix, Herbert, Lawrence, who are you betting on?
And look, so often that is what it comes down to. But I think it's also about feeling better about the guys around these guys there. And those Chargers guys, everyone stepped up in Dallas. Both sides of the football. I did think that was impressive. Let's get an NFC outlook after the break right here on Pro Football Today.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
They went all in with the Sauce Gardner trade, right? All in. Give you a couple of number 1 picks here. Then Daniel Jones breaks the leg, and then he tears the Achilles. All right, you're signing Phillip Rivers. Are you kidding me? I mean, by the way, you know what hasn't been talked about enough? Sam Ehlinger decided he didn't want to come play for the Colts. Why? You would have been. I know Denver activated him to the roster anyway, but he would have been maybe a starting quarterback this weekend.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Michael Jordan retired at the age of 30 in 1993. He missed the 93-94 season. Furthermore, he came back for 17 games in 1995 when he gave up baseball. And when I mean gave up baseball, he gave up baseball on March 18th and came back to basketball March 19th, which means no ramp up, no training camp, no nothing.
Pro Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
If I told you 25 years ago that you could bet $1,000 on whether or not the Miami Dolphins would go 25 years without a playoff win, that probably would have returned 10 mil, if not more.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you could do that on Kalshi right now or on Polymarket right now and pick any team you want.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh, Joe Lisi, and we kind of just went through a lot of elements of the AFC. With the NFC, there's a lot of different ways we can go, but I think you and I, we intentionally didn't get into this heavily on Sunday. Seattle and Los Angeles, Thursday night, a 38-37 victory for the Seahawks. What was your biggest takeaway from what a lot of people feel was the best game of the NFL season?
I don't think the Rams are as dominant as people make them out to be. How about that? I think they've gotten exposed. Even in the win against Detroit, we saw from a personnel perspective that defense get torched. And granted, they won that game in the second half by making adjustments. But I'm not as high on the Rams as others are. And I've been high on the Rams, right, over the past couple of years. I've picked this team as a sleeper, and I know now everybody's on them. But again, I still am not wowed by this team. And again, I think the best team in the conference, and I'm going to go down with this, happens to be the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think when the chips are in the middle of the table, whether it be in L.A. or in Philly, I'm taking that team with my money that I'm betting on in that type of situation. And if I'm wrong, I would be the first one to admit it. As much as I believe that Ben Johnson and Chicago are contenders, they're not getting my money in an NFC championship game against the Eagles. And I know they lost there. Now we have to see if the Eagles get there. But all those teams on that list have major weaknesses. Everyone, including the Eagles at times, right? And I think the Eagles' weakness happens to be their own mind. And no, I think it's not a talent perspective, because talent-wise, on paper, Eagles are clearly head and shoulders above and better than anybody.
So I want to go to the Thursday game, because for what I'm looking for, it was perfect. What? I wouldn't change anything about that game.
Are you buying into Darnold?
Not even a little bit.
Okay.
Sam Darnold, once again, showed everybody exactly who he is, okay? But he was given chance after chance after chance and eventually made good. But Sam Darnold, to be very, very clear, had thrown that football game away.
Yep.
And then Rashid Shaheed, with a 58-yard punt return touchdown, gives them life. They complete the 2-point conversion. He hits a wide-open A.J. Barner, and now they need a 2-point conversion. Complete chaos ensues. They didn't complete it, but whatever. It worked out for them. Okay, fine. And then he did have a good drive in overtime. I'm not going to act like he didn't. But Sam Darnold showed everybody exactly what he is. So I will be very ready to pick against them when the playoffs begin. So it checked that box. I am interested in the Rams at realistic numbers. We keep doing this thing where people, Joe, are like, it's an open year. Rams are the greatest team we've ever seen. Oh, hold on a minute now. That's not adding up, right? There's a lack of consistency there, and there's sometimes consistency lacking in the market. The Rams, when they are finally locked in as a wild card team, I want to see what those numbers look like. I think they could still be dangerous even out of the wild card slot, but they are a completely waste of time bet where they're being booked. And then the most interesting thing for me is somebody who preseason bet San Francisco is their path to the 1 seed. And I've talked quite a lot about that. So I was very, very pleased with what I saw on Thursday night. And then what I saw Saturday night, Joe, though, right? More NFC. We'll start in Philadelphia. First time in a long time. They just feel like they're having fun.
Yeah.
Like, I know that might sound silly, and you can certainly, it's the Raiders, it's the, guys, come on, it's the Commanders. The Eagles were winning playoff games, and everybody was miserable. The Eagles were beating the defending, whatever they were. It didn't matter. They were beating the Lions. They were the Packers. Everyone was miserable. They look happy.
Yeah.
They're smiling. And I think you're right. Like, the negative stuff can be infectious, but the positive stuff can be as well. And I have said to you, again, we joke about it, I've not believed Philly was going to win the NFC throughout the length of this season. But the most chance I've ever given them has been over the last 2 weeks. Because I think so much of it is about how they feel. Not who they are. We know who they are. We know who Jalen Hurts is, unless you're a clown. There's a lot of clowns. There are a lot of clowns. You know how many quarterbacks have made the playoffs each of the last 5 seasons? 2.
Josh Allen.
Jalen Hurts. That's all right. Yeah, maybe it's because I've been beaten. Hey, I just want everyone to know. But that's the reality. So Philly feels different. Chicago, Green Bay's an odd one, though, Joe.
Yeah.
It's an odd one.
I think Chicago now has the inside. I mean, to me.
I agree with that, but I don't love this living on the edge every single week thing they do.
But, again, they're a young team. So that's why I don't think they're championship ready.
Right.
I think next year, if they get to a playoff, they win a playoff game, I think they'll have a better foundation, obviously, in year number 2 with Ben Johnson and Caleb now feeling confident he's got his play caller for probably the rest of his career in Chicago, right? And that's what you wanted. They should have did it last year. They didn't. Here's the thing. When you bring up those teams, let's talk Seattle. Okay, great. Zach Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker, 1-2 punch. Outside of JSN, are we about, Cooper Kupp? 44 receptions. Rashid Shaheed has 175. In a playoff environment, is that the core that's going to elevate Sam Darnold to the promised land? Because Sam Darnold couldn't do it with the best wide receiver in football last year in Justin Jefferson and in a second complimentary piece in Jordan Addison. And, oh, by the way, Hawkinson and Aaron Jones. But that's my point. He's going to do it with this group. And I know he's doing it in the regular season, but in a playoff environment, if you have to go to Philadelphia, you go toe-to-toe with the Eagles. Is that group scaring you? I'm just saying.
No, but that's the thing. I think, right now you look at the conference and, where is that belief?
Yeah, but that's the thing. What team do you have for all of those teams on that list?
Yeah.
Forget records. Chips in the middle of the table. Who is built to win on the road? Tell me, Eagles, and I would say maybe San Francisco and the Rams. Outside that,
Kev, I think those.
But that's my point.
Right.
That you feel confident in. They have the experience at quarterback.
Joe,
they have the coach, and that's it.
Well, let me ask you something then about the road. Someone's going to go to an NFC South team. Someone's going to go to see an NFC South team.
Okay.
And I think for a lot of this season, we've thought, you know what, Tampa Bay, there's some pedigree there. Joe?
No.
I think the Bucs should be ashamed of themselves.
Oh, they threw this season away. They threw it away, Kev. In that game against Carolina, 23-20. I mean, granted, okay, they jump up early. They have the ball.
They've lost 6 of 7.
Exactly. But where is the identity?
They were 5-1.
But here's the problem, Kev. The problem is now they're completely healthy, and they're playing alligator arms. They're playing close to the vest. Baker should be throwing it 50 times in the game. Throwing it
Do they
to
not
Evans.
trust him anymore?
I don't know. Is he banged up? I don't know. We'll never know. But Ibuka doesn't get involved until the second half. Evans scores the first touchdown. He's non-existent.
Well, the quarterback had 145 yards.
But that's my point. He was an MVP guy prior to the injuries. So what are we doing? Is Baker 100% healthy, or is Bowles in this offensive staff now completely perplexed about how to call plays? Because all of a sudden now we're limping it potentially into the playoffs. You have all these Ferraris and you're not utilizing them.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Baker, look, there's a lot of different problems for Tampa Bay.
Here's the thing. If I'm going down with Baker throwing 45 times a game.
You might be right, though. Like, maybe he is still injured. Maybe that's a piece of what we're watching here today.
But what's with the run? That like the run has got to be a complementary piece. When the passing attack, they throw first, run second.
So, yeah,
now it's run first, throw second.
Here's what we would say. Liam Cohen, really good hire, we would say, right? Dave Canales, maybe getting there.
Right.
That's their last 2 offensive coordinators. We talk about it with Philly all the time. It is very hard to every single year have to hire a new offensive coordinator and get it right. And I think you're showing, again and again and again. Todd Bowles been able to hold on to this job because they keep winning the South by default. And they were set up again, by the way, to win the South by default. Right? Because the South is still not, the NFC South cannot figure it out. Bowles is on a real deal hot seat, I think, in Tampa Bay. More to get to. It's Pro Football Today on SportsGrid.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all three Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
They went all in with the Sauce Gardner trade, right? All in. Give you a couple of number one picks here. Then Daniel Jones breaks the leg, and then he tears the Achilles. All right, you're signing Phillip Rivers. Are you kidding me? I mean, by the way, you know what hasn't been talked about enough? Sam Ellinger decided he didn't want to come play for the Colts. Why? You would have been. I know Denver activated him to the roster anyway, but he would have been maybe the starting quarterback this weekend.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Michael Jordan retired at the age of 30 in 1993. He missed the 93-94 season. Furthermore, he came back for 17 games in 1995 when he gave up baseball. And when I mean gave up baseball, he gave up baseball on March 18th and came back to basketball March 19th, which means no ramp up, no training camp, no nothing.
Pro Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
If I told you 25 years ago that you could bet $1,000 on whether or not the Miami Dolphins would go 25 years without a playoff win, that probably would have returned 10 mil, if not more.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you could do that on Kalshi right now or on Polymarket right now and pick any team you want.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Back right here on SportsGrid, and there's a lot of different things I think still for us to kind of look through. One game, I didn't have a great day on Sunday. It happens. One game though, I ended up well wrong about was Tennessee and Kansas City. Now, I did not have Chris Oladuncan on my bingo card, and I know Minshew was hardly lighting it up, but you know I'd like to take my chances that maybe Minshew could have figured it out a little bit as the game went on. I think the thing for the Chiefs is the game after your season is finished, right? There has to be some expectation that you are going to step up. That's what I thought. And for it to look like this, Joe, it does now feel very just lay down and die. It feels that way. It's odd though, right? Like, this team's going to lose out. Like, is that where we're at now with Kansas City? We know they're going to be dogs against Denver, and at this rate, I'm not all that sure they'll be booked as favorites on the road against Vegas in Week 18.
No, I mean, I'll say this. They end the season, or at least heading into Week 17, losers of 6 of the last 7. Ugh. Can't win on the road. 1-6 on the road or on a neutral field, right? Yeah. Because they had the game overseas Week 1. Mm-hmm. And I'll say this. The old man's lost his fastball. Andy Reid, I mean, I don't think he knows what's going on. You again, another team with playmakers. Xavier Worthy. Okay, Rashee Rice didn't play in that matchup. Where Marquise Brown, the last time I checked, can burn. You know, forget Travis Kelce.
Right.
Ola Duncan, 11 of 16, $111 and 6 yards for pass play. Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't understand what the mentality is out of Andy Reid. You're eliminated for the playoffs. I don't care if I have an XFL quarterback. back there. Put 5 wide and throw the football.
No, but he put him back. Joe, he couldn't do anything. I mean, he's taking sacks. They're turning it over.
Come
Joe,
on.
there was just nothing
Kev, they
there.
have a non-existent. Ship Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt out. They're, 51 yards, 3.4 yards per carry. They're not the answer. They make it sound like they have Jahmyr Gibbs or Jonathan Taylor back there.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, come on.
I thought they turned it over. I didn't realize that they actually picked up their own fumbles a few times.
But my point is,
Look, they're done.
what are we doing?
Hold on a second, though. Let's go to this one. All right?
Go ahead.
Your best bet.
Yeah.
Miami, Cincinnati.
Slingshot special. I should have bet it more.
I probably shouldn't bring this up, but I can't help myself.
Go ahead.
You've been wondering if there are conspiracies to stop the best players from scoring.
Yeah.
I can't figure out what's going on with Jamar Chase not getting into the end zone.
Telling you.
It doesn't make any sense.
Conspiracy theories.
It doesn't make any sense.
Now
Joe Burrow has had 2 games with 4 touchdowns since he came back. 2.
Yeah.
He's thrown 10 touchdowns in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase hasn't thrown a touchdown.
Personnel packages. Now
How's that possible?
Because everybody now uses, it's a copycat league, personnel packages, right?
What is, come on.
Doesn't mean
anything.
Denver,
I don't get it.
they scraped off Bandy from the, you don't think the call comes down from the red phone?
By the way,
Use multiple
obviously
looks.
not.
Use
Obviously
multiple
not.
players. I mean, come on.
It's crazy.
What's the reason for multiple players being in personnel? Like all of a sudden the bell went off now? After 56 years in the NFL, hey, we should utilize multiple players. For years, it was Burrow to Chase, Burrow to Higgins, Burrow to Chase, right? Oh, Jefferson, Addison. Now all of a sudden we got Garber. Jalen Naylor scoring 2 touchdowns. Flournoy for Dallas.
Yeah,
All these guards, Khalif Raymond. I mean, you tell me. You don't think it's a conspiracy?
No,
Come on.
No, not at all. But listen, I couldn't help myself.
All of a sudden, all
Quinn
these
Ewers,
garbage
franchise
plays.
quarterback?
Say it again?
Quinn Ewers, franchise quarterback?
Come on.
All right, fine. Tyler Shuck, franchise quarterback?
No.
Okay. Shedeur Sanders, franchise quarterback?
Debatable.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, again, you're going to make an assessment on Shedeur. Can he start the year? Can you give me weapons? Can you call a game where instead of just running it, we have the mentality that we're going to stretch defenses over the top and we're going to score potentially 30 points a game? Can you give me that type of mentality? Again, I don't understand what we're trying to do and what Stefanski's trying to do. I get it. You always want to win football games, but you still have to assess talent.
Sure.
And if you don't think you're going to be there next year, who cares? Then let it fly, baby.
Yeah.
Rip it and rip it. Explain to me the mentality of, you know what? Let's let the play clock run out to 0 on every call. Where is the heck? Explain that to me.
Here's the one.
How about tempo? How about 5 wide? Hurry up offense. How about we try and score and we try to put a 30 spot on Buffalo? I'm just saying.
I know. I think things in Cleveland though are just still really bad.
Yeah, but if it's really bad, that's another. Okay, there's no asses in the seats. Because nobody's going to this game.
So what I mean is,
why not play entertaining football? Show me, or what is the reason why that can't be done at the end of the year?
I'm just confused by the foundation of the football team for a franchise that took not 1 but 2 draft picks on rookie quarterbacks. And they've had a coach who's won Coach of the Year, I think, multiple times already.
2 times.
Might get fired. We don't know if they actually like any of the quarterbacks they have in the room. By the way, they're in range to draft a quarterback high in the upcoming draft and have draft capital if needed.
Do you want
to get
one
up
in
to
this
1?
draft?
Well, I mean, I think people are going to want at least 1. If the first pick belongs to the Giants and they're going to stick with Dart, then you're going to have an opportunity.
It's either Mendoza or Beck. I mean, who else is left?
No one's drafted. People think Dante Moore. But that's just where the numbers are.
I'm not saying I like Beck, but I'm just saying, prototypical.
He's not going in the range, though. I'm
yeah,
just saying
he'll be a 3rd, 4th rounder, and then it'll be.
He really lit up A&M.
Please.
Okay. All right. But Buffalo impressed you at all in that football game?
No, but again, I like Cleveland in the game. Buffalo did what they always do: play down to the level of competition. Just get to the playoffs, and let's see if Josh Allen can carry this team. Again, bottom line is this. If Josh Allen and the Bills don't win the AFC Championship game this year with the inexperience of the playoff quarterbacks, May, Nix, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, they'll never even come close to winning an AFC championship. I said it, Sammy, not you.
Kellen Moore, Coach of the Year, 5 wins. About 4 more than people thought he was going to get.
Yeah, I mean, smoke and mirrors. He's doing the Copperfield special.
It's interesting though because
he's done a nice job.
Yeah,
I mean,
they might have won their way outside of. They might have to give Tyler Shuck another season.
Yeah,
all of a sudden now, old man Shuck.
Well, there you go. I think outside of Olave, Mason Tipton and
throwing
Juwan
garbage
Johnson.
time touchdowns.
I mean, come on.
That blew a team total
Devin,
under. Can't figure that out. Can't figure that one out. Classless all of a sudden. You might have learned that from Sirianni. What are you going to do? We're going to get a primetime preview for you right here on SportsGrid after the break.
If I told you 25 years ago that you could bet $1,000 on whether or not the Miami Dolphins would go 25 years without a playoff win, that probably would have returned 10 mil. If not more.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you could do that on Kalshi right now or on Polymarket right now and pick any team you want.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Michael Jordan retired at the age of 30 in 1993. He missed the 93-94 season. Furthermore, he came back for 17 games in 1995 when he gave up baseball. And when I mean gave up baseball, he gave up baseball on March 18th and came back to basketball March 19th, which means no ramp up, no training camp, no nothing.
Pro basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
You ain't buying no tickets.
Who isn't?
You're not going
I'm
to
saying
these
I'm a
games.
fan. Of course I'm not. There's a fan. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, but if you were a fan, I thought you were a fan of the Hurricanes. You're not
I got,
anymore.
they told me.
They
I
smashed
told them
you.
to donate my tickets.
Yeah, so I get it. But the fans travel. They have money, believe it or not. It's
They
amazing.
don't.
Well, somebody's
in this
got
economy,
money.
in this economy,
But they have money. I don't know. See what Kalshi says about the economy.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
I'm just saying, if I were a good NFL head coach, if I were a hot offensive coordinator, and that coaching cycle's going to come around, and they're like, hey, do you want the Giants job? Or do you want the Michigan job? I think the Michigan job is much better.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Primetime preview here, Lise. We got a lot of good stuff to get to. We didn't mention game of the season, though, obviously. 2 of them we might have missed. Vikings-Giants. Falcons-Cardinals.
Falcons-Cardinals was all right game. Arizona's
we had a 10-0 lead catch. 10-0 lead, 13-3 lead, caught 3. Never had a chance. Jacoby Brissett's kind of
he's terrible.
I mean, he's come back to reality.
Yeah, I mean,
I would like a full 14-page apology for somehow Elijah Higgins going out there and having 7 for 91 when Trey McBride is supposed to be the guy.
Right.
I mean, someone needs to explain that to me. Sneaking it, by the way, were Kirk Cousins. I don't actually know if they like Bijan Robinson in Atlanta. It's just like they're like, we know he's so special, we have to use him. So that's interesting. Jackson Dart, by the way, I know you're going to think it's crazy, but there are people who wonder if this team's going to draft quarterback if they have the first pick. Jackson Dart didn't quiet any of that conversation with that game against Minnesota.
No, but
7 of 13, 33 yards. I mean, it's not great. Let's be honest, it's not great.
No, they have another team with no offensive talent, though. I mean,
well, Mike Kafka also could be the worst. They might rehire Brian Dable.
Stop.
Well, I'd consider it. I mean, what a disgrace.
It's horrible.
What a disgrace.
No, I mean, they drafted Jalen Hiley. He's non-existent. But I'm just saying. I mean, with Hendon Hooker, he had 15 touchdowns in college.
Okay.
I don't know, but I'm just saying. He was one of the most prolific wide receivers. They drafted him.
Fair enough.
Guy hasn't even touched the field.
Fair
Darius
enough.
Slayton. I mean, he should be playing street ball. I mean, the guy's terrible. Yeah, I'm serious. Go to the garbage can at the street light and hang a left. I mean, really, this team, Theo Johnson. Okay.
All right.
I mean, they did well with the running backs. Tyrone Tracy's not bad, but and Scatterboo if he was healthy. But
Yeah.
But what do they have? What do they have?
Well,
Wandale Robinson. I mean, come on.
You can't be throwing 7 to 13.
Now,
33
yeah,
yards.
but statistically, they'll say Wan'Dale Robinson's one of the most prolific
He's all right.
slot guys. Okay, is he
So how do you-
Devontae Smith?
No, he's not.
Is he T. Higgins?
Yeah, I'm teed up.
Yeah,
all right, Colts Niners. What do you think here?
My
What's
heart is
starting
telling me
to
over.
jump out? It looks like this number's working Indianapolis as well.
Nah, I can't take that. I'll take that shot with the over. I mean, I'm going to take a shot on old man Rivers. Passing props.
Yeah.
175 at plus 158, 200, I think, at plus 238. Give me Mike Pittman. Give me Ty Warren. Give me anytime touchdown, Ty Warren. And I think my guy steps up for the Niners. Jawan Jennings, 80-plus yards.
What do you need on a?
What? I can't. I mean, what are you going to take? What are you going to take tonight?
Well, I'm just saying.
Jonathan Taylor, 56 attempts. Is that? I mean, everybody's going to be. I mean, that's what everybody. It's a Jonathan Taylor game. It's a Jonathan Taylor game. Let's run the Wildcat.
I got to tell you, there's a number that's so long. You might have to play it. You might have to play it.
What?
Phillip Rivers anytime touchdown.
Oh, come on.
Joe, it's the longest odds on. They got Isaac Garendo at 25. I thought he was still hurt. Laquan Treadwell is on the Colts. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, nobody did. He's booked at 27-1. You're telling me it's more likely Laquan Treadwell gets in than Phillip Rivers?
Is he going to get buried in the first quarter? Is the book's telling us
Maybe
that?
someone throws him in. Maybe Tyler Warren, Claudio Castagnoli swings him into the end zone.
Yeah, it's possible.
35-1 is crazy.
All right.
All right, so you don't like it?
No.
All right, fair enough. How do you feel about McCaffrey in the receiving game?
I mean, I like McCaffrey on the ground tonight. 59,
Always a zag. Pass catching back, likes him on the ground.
59.5.
How do you feel about Taylor in the receiving game?
Taylor might get some yards
Yeah,
tonight.
not much on the ground, though.
No, I mean,
more in the
his
air.
number's 95.5, Kev.
So you like him for 19.5 receiving?
Yeah.
Okay, I do
mean,
too.
I do like Ty Warren. I do, because
Yeah?
I think Rivers, if the arm strength isn't there, short to intermediate throws to Warren. I like Warren anytime touchdown. I think he's plus 340.
Rivers is at 28.5 attempts.
That's
18.5 completions.
You don't think that's high? If he's throwing it 28 times, is he completing it 14? Is he going to give us 50?
Last week he went 18 of 27.
For what, 140?
120.
Yeah, but now he shook off the ring rust.
You think he's
now
feeling
we could
better?
maybe put on that copper sleeve that Jerry Rice and Brett Favre wear on the infomercial. You know? He put on wearing the copper sleeve. I feel better now. No pain, no pain.
You know, Brett might be watching Rivers asking himself, can I get back out there? He actually might. Wow. I mean, all right, so you like Rivers to throw it and Jawan Jennings to catch it.
Yes.
Lisi special, baby. Nobody better in the business. We'll see you tonight on Game Time Decisions.
So is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all three Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
They went all in with the Sauce Gardner trade, right? All in. Give you a couple of number one picks here. Then Daniel Jones breaks the leg, and then he tears the Achilles. All right, you're signing Phillip Rivers. Are you kidding me? I mean, by the way, you know what hasn't been talked about enough? Sam Ellinger decided he didn't want to come play for the Colts. Why? You would have been. I know Denver activated him to the roster anyway, but he would have been maybe the starting quarterback this weekend.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Michael Jordan retired at the age of 30 in 1993. He missed the 93-94 season. Furthermore, he came back for 17 games in 1995 when he gave up baseball. And when I mean gave up baseball, he gave up baseball on March 18th and came back to basketball March 19th, which means no ramp up, no training camp, no nothing.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
If I told you 25 years ago that you could bet $1,000 on whether or not the Miami Dolphins would go 25 years without a playoff win, that probably would have returned 10 mil, if not more.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you could do that on Kalshi right now or on Polymarket right now and pick any team you want.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.